Make sure to subscribe to this channel for more videos like this.
Details on LeBron James, a lifelong Yankees fan, buying into the Red Sox.
Wow.
But first, the Bears have made a move for a quarterback, and it's not Russell Wilson, like you said, Elle.
Scott Drew's kids need to tell him to back up from the camera just a little bit.
He's a close talker.
It's ESPN national reporter Michele Steele joining us now from the NCAA Hall of Champions in Indianapolis. And Michele, we're all excited, obviously, to see the tournament again. But logistically, what details do you have on how this is all going to work?
Yeah, Elle, here's what we know. By the end of the week, all 68 teams will be here. We're just waiting on Virginia. They had a positive COVID test last week, so they're going to get here on Friday. We do know that 2,300 COVID tests are administered daily in Indianapolis. But beyond that, you know how the rest of this tournament rolls out? It's anyone's guess. Now, some interesting news on the referee front. 6 referees who ate dinner together. One of them actually got a positive COVID test, and they've been sent home. Now, the NCAA is saying today that they've got plenty of replacement refs on deck, Elle, and they're confident in the officiating.
There'll also be some fans in attendance, including everyone's favorite tournament fan, Sister Jean. She's vaxxed up and ready to dance at 101 years old. I know you are very excited to see her when Loyola takes on Georgia Tech on Friday. We're actually going to hear from her later on in SportsCenter. Michele Steele, hearing from you right now from Indianapolis. Thanks. Kevin and Elle back with you on SportsCenter with this breaking news from just a couple hours ago. Andy Dalton's headed to Chicago, signing a 1-year deal worth $10 million and another $3 million in incentives. Bears fans are thinking, what happened? Because I thought Russell Wilson was in play. But then instead you get Andy Dalton, who could just basically be Mitchell Trubisky. They didn't really upgrade. In fact,
It's not getting better.
Look, since 2017, Trubisky has actually been better than Dalton in several categories, including completion percentage, yards per attempt, total QBR, touchdown to interception ratio. Just pretty much in all the stats. Let's get to Louis Riddick. Oh, this is going to be such a check of my petty. Okay. We talked to Adam Schefter a little earlier in the show, and he basically admitted that this is what happens when you go all in on Russell Wilson, and then you have to settle for Andy Dalton when that trade does not materialize. Louis, what do you make about this move by GM Ryan Pace?
That's exactly what this is, Elle. I mean, look, they know that this year, given the status of both Ryan Pace and of Matt Nagy, that they needed someone who could transcend any deficiencies that they have on offense and, quite honestly, on the entire team. So they needed an absolute franchise game changer. They needed Russell Wilson. They needed Deshaun Watson. And so they did go all in on that. And I know that for a fact. I'm not Adam Schefter, and I'm not going to sit here and tweet out, you know, breaking information like this, but I have some relationships, as John Gruden used to say. I have a phone too, and I make some calls too. And I know that they were trying hard to make a move for one of these two quarterbacks. And if it doesn't work out, then this is what you kind of are relegated to, because remember this, the relationship really with Mitchell Trubisky is kind of broken. He needs to go his separate ways, and Chicago has already kind of determined that they need something different as far as at the quarterback position. And that's why they wanted Russell and they wanted Deshaun. And now the fact that they're having to settle for Andy Dalton just tells you this. There's nothing else to choose from right now. There just isn't. All these quarterbacks are going off the market. Ryan Fitzpatrick is gone. Jameis Winston is gone. You know, so what are they going to do? They have to play with somebody. They have to sign somebody to compete with Nick Foles. So this is what you get. Now, honestly, I would be very disappointed, too, if I was a part of the Chicago fan base. I'd be livid at this point, because what this does is this has a trickle-down effect. Now, Allen Robinson, who you have franchised, is sitting there going, so I'm having to go with another quarterback right now who's just nothing but a bridge. So I'm wasting another year of my career. Darnell Mooney, the fantastic rookie who they drafted out of Tulane last year, who everyone believes is one of those game breakers. He's going, now I'm going from Nick Foles to Mitch Trubisky, and now I've got Andy Dalton. They're still trying to get Russell, maybe Deshaun. They're trying to draft a guy. So now what happens is everything's just in a state of flux again in this city and with this football team. And then if you flip over to the defensive side, all those players that have basically been carrying this football team for the past couple of years are going, here we are back on this carousel again and again and again. And they have a new defensive coordinator, their third defensive coordinator, Vic Fangio. You know, he's gone. And so now You know, you have young Sean Desai, who's taking over this year for Chuck Pagano, who was the defensive coordinator the past 2 years. So as you can see, like, all these different things, right, going all over the place, what they lead to is this: a lot of frustration, a lot of people who are ticked off right now that Chicago wasn't able to pull off what basically was going to be a Hail Mary anyway. And now you have Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy going, man, this is what we had to settle for. Now, what are we going to do going forward, whether when it comes to the draft? You know, what if Russell and Deshaun become available later on? Are we going to have, you know, the financial wherewithal to go ahead and still make a deal? It's just a giant mess right now.
Well, listen, maybe they'll surprise them. I'm old enough to remember when Rex Grossman took them to a Super Bowl. Didn't help them win one, but certainly at least took them there 15 years ago. Louis Riddick with the
and you know what,
latest-
let me just say this real quick, and this isn't meant to be disrespectful to Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton's played good football for a long time, but Andy's a bridge. He's not the answer. That's just the fact of the matter. He's not the answer, and they're still looking for their answer in Chicago.
There it is. Louis Riddick with the latest on the Bears' move to sign Andy Dalton.